seconds to go.
Welcome, ladies and gents, back to another Havok cast. As previously, I just went to the watch tab, found the highest MMR average game that was still in the drafting phase, and we're jumping in to see what this game is going to end up being. On the Radiant side, the names that I recognize are Tim's, while on the Dire side, we have, I'm pretty sure I saw someone famous on the Dire side. Probably just changed their necks. I'm not going to pop out now, as the game is about to start. So, draft-wise, we're looking at a Lich Sand King support duo for the Radiant. Just give us a second while the Tower Showdown happens. I honestly really hope Valve does away with this for next year's TI and for the majors. Such a waste of time, in my opinion. But anyway, that's just me. Alright, back to the drafts analysis. Pop in a little free cam, and then let's see what we have on the side. So,
everybody get set.
On the Radiant side, we have the Quap going mid. We have Clinks going safe lane. Lich and Sand King support duo with the Void going off lane. While on the Dire side, we're probably going to see pause coming out. Probably going to see a mid. Ooh, I have no idea who's going to go mid with this. Probably going to be mid Mirana with the offlane Naga and safe lane Ursa. Then a Shadow Shaman supporting the safe lane Ursa, and Visage probably dual laning mid with the Mirana to try and get her that advantage. Alright, so early wards coming out, lane ward coming out for the Dire, just spotting out everything happening close to the tier 1 tower in top. Other wards coming out is a very, very deep Radiant ward, blocking the neutral camp for mid. This is probably going to hamper the Mirana, if it is the Mirana. Well, it's going to hamper the Mirana and the Naga on the offlane quite heavily, as they often rely on jungling in the early game to get that. Oh, here we've got a little bit of an engagement at the bounty rune top. Nothing spawned yet, but the Void should be able to hold his own against the Ursa, unless the Ursa has skilled Fury swipes, which he has. In that case, our friend the Void really needs to be careful. Some action possibly happening bottom as well. Naga and Mirana coming in, quite a hectic duo to sort of with. Tim's on the Sand King, just staying far south. So the Dire getting 3 of the 4 bounty runes.
Radiant on one side, Dire on the other.
Quite unfortunate for the Radiant. In fact, the only bounty rune that the Radiant got was, I'd assume, the Queen of Pain on top. Alright, so mid is going to be a Visage mid up against the Queen of Pain. Pop should very heavily favor this lane. Picking off the courier there, a neat little 200 gold for all the heroes on the Radiant. It's going to be a very, very helpful start, especially for this Clinks, who needs quite a bit of gold to start coming online. He does a decent amount of damage, but he is incredibly squishy, susceptible to lockdowns, and his mana pool gets exhausted before you can say the word Clinks. Sand King trying his best to zone, but against the long range of the Mirana and the burst melee damage of the Naga with that Riptide, is going to be very, very tough indeed. Naga Siren with the early Stout Shield. Seems like she thought she was going to get the lane, but this Mirana is the one going to be taking the farm. In mid, the Queen of Pain, with a healthy lead, lost his-wise over the Visage.
Nice try.
Visage, well, not healthy, as their net creep score is equal, with one more lost in the Queen of Pain. Soul Assumption doing quite a lot of work there, but if you're going into a right-click wall with the Queen of Pain early, you are going to be sorely disappointed. Missing First Blood here on the top lane. The Lich getting gone on by probably a Shackles, Shadow Shaman, and the Fury Swipes Ursa. Very, very deadly lane this. I mean, if you're looking for kill potential, this is the lane to watch. Ursa with an early Orb of Venom to try and slow this Void and the Lich in the lane. Once he gets a single hit off, it's pretty much game over. as the Shadow Shaman can just come in shackles and hold the hero for this Ursa to damage. It's very weird that the Void tries to trade hits there with an Ursa. You're never going to win that fight. Even though he has Time Walk available, if there was a Shadow Shaman, I mean, they don't have vision over the Shadow Shaman. If he was there, there was an instant kill. Lich is back in lane. Make sure he's going to harass that Ursa out from the side. The range, very, very helpful in keeping the Ursa back. Even though the Lich doesn't do that much damage, he's got a decent amount of damage for an early game default. 49 on that Lich, and 1 point into the Frost Blast, and 1 point in Sacrifice, making the lane a little bit easier for this Void. Going to keep him close to the tower. Visage got himself an Arcane Rune. This might set up for a bit of kill potential if the Crop decides to push too far. Start spamming out those spells, getting the Crop low. Crop still has a magic stick, so should be okay. Not that it's going to give him that much regen. Bit of a dive going in on bottom. The Clinks, as mentioned, has virtually no mana left. This Mirana is ready to kill the Sand King. Sand King is playing very, very conservatively, trying to get back there on the side, but this ward is just keeping vision on him. As mentioned, if the Crop gets too aggressive, the Visage should get the kill, and that's exactly what happened. Top, and there's a lot of action going on in this map. 4 kills in 4 minutes, and this is the exact combo problem that I was talking about. Void getting held by the shackles. If it wasn't for that Lich Frost Blast, that would have probably been a kill, keeping the Ursa away from doing too much damage. Last hit-wise, this Mirana is on top of the pack. The Dire with a healthy last hit lead, both the Ursa and the Mirana in the top 3. Queen of Pain starting to get back, pressuring this tower. After the Arcade Rune's worn off, it's a long, hard road for this Visage to outdamage a full health, full mana Queen of Pain. Up at top, they keep on trying to push in on this Void, but he's just tanky enough with that stout shield, equipment shield. Bottom, 2 wards virtually on top of one another. The Radiant ward about to expire. They spot the Radiant Courier coming in to deliver the Ring of Aquila to the Mirana. This Mirana is going to start hitting hard soon. Some illusions just harassing the Mirana back from the lane. Apart from that, this Naga trying to get a little bit of regen up and running. Probably going to go Soul Ring for that jungling potential. Alright, they're going to go on the Mirana. Nice stun there by the Sand King, and the Clinks almost does enough damage to kill the Mirana. Arrow comes back in, and they might be going in on the Sand King. Sand King dropping low. Burst damage by the Riptide, and it is enough to bring down the Sand King. Up at top, they're chasing the Lich. One more clap from this Ursa, and it should be tickets for the Lich. Lich with the low movement speed compared to the Ursa's 355. Already has phase boots up and running, so no wonder it was a foregone conclusion that that Lich was dead. Mid, the Crop seemed to want to rotate over to try and get those kills, but it was to no avail. Ursa a little bit low. Should probably be getting some... They're just looking at each other around that neutral camp. Also trying to get a pull off and then dominate that neutral area. Same idea with the Sand King, but they just scare each other off. Shadow Shaman ready on the left to come in for a shackle and kill this Void. Ursa not reacting quite fast enough, so this Void should be able to just time walk out. Up the bottom, Clink still happily farming away. Not top of the net worth charts by any means, but getting decent amount of last hits. Third on the list, just behind that Queen of Pain in mid. Visage heavily pressuring mid, getting the last hits. He needs to start getting those early items like the medallion in the neck. Visage obviously with a super low starting armor of 0, always likes getting that early points, all those early bonuses. Missing a Shadow Shaman kill up top. Ursa still seems to be doing fine, so I'm pretty sure with the Dire on too worried about that. Brilliant arrow there from the Mirana, and they get the Lich, who was just trying to help out his buddy. In the meantime, I missed the bigger kill up top. Ursa going down to the Queen of Pain. Quop Not even using her ult there. Wow, that's impressive. Keeping the ult for the Visage in mid, so this Visage should watch out. That is a tongue twister of note. A lot of action happening all around the map, and this might be when the Queen of Pain decides to throw out the ult. Soul Assumption coming out, and press that R button, you beautiful, beautiful hero. And it seems like the Visage birds will hold them back. There we go. Just not enough. They get the sentry down. They get the kill on the Visage. Finally, that bird is dead. Up top, an empty lane for this Ursa, farming under Moonlight Shadow. Not the prettiest hero by any means, so it's better for everyone if no one gets to see him. Big congregation around the Radiant Shrine, and no idea what the Naga was doing there. She chilled around with her legions, probably thought about starting to jungle, taking those neutral creeps away from the Radiant, but they managed to spot her out with this beautiful little ward up on the high ground. Actually quite stupid, as that's a very common ward spot. Maybe not that common in Southeast Asia. The burst damage, more than enough to take down the Mirana before she gets back to the tower. Clinks, now level 6 up and running. Had quite a heavy nerf in 7.0. The duration of the ult as well as the cooldown took quite a heavy blow. Up top, this Void is in quite deep against two heroes. We get a shackle off and a slam. This might be, oh, the end of the Void, but no. He's got his chrono ready, gets it down, kills off the Shadow Shaman. Will probably go down here to the Ursa, but chrono spent, hero killed. It's fine for the Void. The problem is that now this Ursa is starting to snowball. Already got his Bassi ring. Headdress up and running. Vlad's very, very close. Only the Morbid Mask left before he can start getting that insane lifesteal. First tower of the game drops. As is customary, it is the Radiant safe lane tower. Saw on Twitter the other day that a lot of pros said that this should not be called the Radiant safe lane anymore, as it's pretty much the most dangerous lane in the game if you're a Radiant carry. Because the distance between this tower here and this X tower here is the furthest between any two adjacent on the map. The Mirana Starfall killing off the Shadow Shaman there. Not the Shadow Shaman, what am I talking about? A lot of really low heroes here. If the Mirana's got another Starfall, oh, just not enough mana. They get the reveal and they get the kill. Triple kill on this Queen of Pain. Quap sitting very pretty. Midas almost up and running. And with a Midas, she should start snowballing very handily. This Ursa is ready to do a solo Roche. Doesn't quite have the health required, so maybe wait for that Morbid Mask before he goes in on Roche. Get that Vlad's up in his inventory. Saying Clinks is missing in a game is pretty much one of those mood points. Visage now with the Medallion of Courage up, almost ready to get that Solar Crest up and running. They're going in on the Visage, coming in with those birds, getting the stun down. Visage manages to get out. They will farm those birds, get a little bit of extra gold. Void also building Vlad, so it's going to be a Vlad's for Vlad's build on the two carries. Well, the offlaner and the carry. Visage seems to be ready for more. He's going to try and take out these creeps, save his tower a bit of extra damage. In bot, they're wrapping around onto this cloth. There we go. Naga sleep to set up. Does not manage to catch the Quap. She blinked back in time. And, oh, beautiful arrow! Max duration stun. They should be able to pump enough damage into the Quap here to kill her. If she's got blink, she should be able to get out, but rooted down. They're going to turn and go back on the Naga, who is now out of mana and out of options. Mirana standing her ground, looking to kill that Quap, but between the damage from the Sand King and the damage from the Quap, they barely able to take out that Mirana. Visage will be next to die. Was Lich ult thrown onto the solo Visage there. Visage, one of the better... Oh. Meanwhile, while that was happening, Ursa conveniently takes the Aegis. Vlad's done Aegis of the Immortal in the inventory, and about 1/3 of the way to a Blink Dagger. As I was saying, oh, we've got a disconnection from Naga Siren. Quick pause there from the teammates. Visage definitely one of the better targets for a Lich ult, as those birds are generally in quite close proximity, getting a couple of bonus bounces onto the hero itself. At that point in time, the Visage was as good as dead, but I mean, if you're a Lich, any kill steal you can get nets you in a handy bunch of gold. Shadow Shaman with max mana regen build, mana boots, and a clarity and a stick. Very basic support fare. Nago has got the jungling build up and running. Soul Ring first, spam your illusions out and just tank those neutral camps. Trying your best to farm up that Radiance, which I assume will be coming next. Checking out the other items, dual Wraith Band build on the Mirana for that early game damage. Ring of Aquila also available, hence her almost winning that engagement on bottom. Queen of Pain was one right click away from death. As mentioned, the Ursa has Vlad's up and running already, on top of Orb of Venom and Phase Boot. Blink pretty close now. Queen of Pain, quite a lot of net worth. Helm queued up next. That early magic damage build, early Veil, to try and maximize her damage up in the mid game. It's going to be an interesting to see which lineup peaks first. You've got your Ursa that normally rushes for kills early and can get quite a lot of kills before the 15 to 20 minute mark. While the Mirana and the Naga Siren generally take a bit longer to get online. While on the side of the Radiant, you've got the Queen of Pain that covers the early to mid game. While the Void and the Clinks take a little bit longer to get online. Clinks more of a mid to late game, while Void only starts doing damage once he has about 2 or 3 big items. Speaking of big items, Vlad's also queued up for the Void as we stated. Finished up his trades first. Get a little bit more tankiness and move speed for those chrono kills. Sand King's got that Blink Dagger queued up about halfway there. All the heroes seem to be liking that Poor Man's Shield wherever they can. Lich, poor as dirt, Tranquil Boots, and Dust, and that's about it. Clinks has got his Blightstone ready. Not going to go for that Desolator quite yet. Trying to build the Dragon Lance first, get that range up and running. That will get the synergy with the Void Chronosphere off to a better start. Oh wow, got a lot of pause and unpauses here. Interestingly enough, the name of the Queen of Pain, Stop Acting Like a Kid, spamming the Crybaby emote. So yes, there is that. Talking about the Clinks, Soul Ring, one of the best items on a Clinks. As you gain health using your ultimate, you're basically exchanging your health for mana, and then exchanging that mana for health and damage. So winning in the deal in general. Vision-wise, let's take a look at the map. We've got a nice little shrine ward here from the Radiant. Similar one at the Bounty Rune for the Dire. Over here, the Mirana trying to get... Oh, just barely missing that arrow. Definitely going to get the Starfall. She should be able to get a hit off on that Lich. But the Frost Blast keeps her slow enough. Oh, Visage Birds incoming. That was a very, very dangerous area for that Lich to be in. Luckily, he escapes. You wouldn't think an undead hero would be scared of dying, but, you know, such is Dota. Such is life. Visage, under the cover of invisibility. Not sure why the Mirana went invis there. There were no engagements across the map. Maybe they wanted to initiate and then saw that there weren't any heroes to initiate on. Ward getting refreshed over here in the Radiant Jungle. Tim's on the Sand King, knowing what it takes to get the proper ward game down. That is one of the things I've heard a lot about TNC back when they were dominant. Well, they probably still are. They've just split up. But, well, they haven't split up. But that they are masters of the vision game. And that's probably the best way to beat teams that are technically and mechanically superior to you, is simply to get the vision advantage. Wards win games, boys and girls. Wards win games. Not understanding the memes of the Southeast Asian region is something that this cast lacks. My apologies. We're unsure whether this Naga just performed a rage quit or whether it was just one of those things, you know? Internet going down, PC crashing, Steam logging you out, your brother logging in from a different server. An infinite amount of variables keeping you from playing the grand game of Dota 2. It's Ursa getting ready to pounce, but suddenly there are two heroes on the side of Radiant. It's Void diving behind the enemy towers to get away from the Ursa, and they just keep on kiting him. Slow, Frost Blast, Time Walk, keeping this Ursa, and they should be able. Wow, that ult. Beautiful chrono there, keeping the Ursa in place, popping the Aegis, and now if they can keep him kited before enemy reinforcements arrive, they should be able to win this fight. Klink's pumping in a lot of damage on the side, but the Shadow Shaman walls get dropped, and the Radiant need to get the heck out of here. Visage Birds almost getting there in time. Lich dying, but after Lich drops his ult, which he didn't have the mana for it, but Lich is pretty much useless in team fights on the side. It's Klinks. Almost got his Dragon Lance.
We're back.
Fully built. Just got the money for the Ogre Club. And got the money for both Bands of Elven Skin. I'm not sure why he's saving the money. Maybe he needs to save for buyback. Not that that's a factor in this early part of the game. Interesting mid lane ward here by the Dire. Making... Oh, wow. This pausing, unpausing is quite unsettling. Right, taking a quick look at the items again. Not that much has changed. Mirana going for Boots of Travel build. Interesting. So, she'll probably go Ags after this to maximize the split push potential, as there's no other reason to go Boots of Travel on Mirana, apart from the mobility. But I mean, Mirana has Leap already, so you don't need that mobility that much. In fact, something like a Hurricane Pike might even be better suited and serve the same purpose. So, the Void, about 2,000 gold away from his Vlads, getting those tasty last hits up on the top lane. But they found the Klinks and were ready to chase him out, but it's one thing I once saw in a Reddit comment about Klinks. Even if a Klinks gets dusted, he's still faster than most other heroes. So, cool, you found the Klinks. Now what? So, just some jungle farming going on both sides. Klinks sitting pretty and waiting for his Dragon Lance. It's just appeared. Sorry, it's coffee time of day. So, Klinks definitely getting the items he needs on the timings he needs. A lot of heroes converging on bot lane now. Sand King using his Burrow Strike. And Klinks going invis just as Birds live ahead. So they know something's up. They know there are heroes in the area. Moonlight Shadow protecting the initiation, but Ursa missing the clap. Tim's getting out there. Oh, wow. That was not the place for you, Klinks. Lich also going to go down a 2-for-nothing trade. Not sure what the Queen of Pain is doing here, as there is so much lockdown on the side of the Dire. Going to probably get the kill on the Shadow Shaman, but is that worth it? A 4-for-0 trade. Shadow Shaman living on 20 health. And this is going to mean at least another tower or one more objective. With the Queen of Pain down for at least 30 more seconds. I'm going to go back to Shrine and then push out a lane. Probably going to go for mid, as the wave is already pushed out. No, it seems like the heroes are just splitting up and getting ready to farm again. Ursa anticipating that time warp, moving towards the left, but did not have the burst damage or the lockdown to keep that Void from escaping. Void, hungry for a kill, going to go back in. As Chronosphere off cooldown, toggling that treads like the absolute madman he is. Getting ready to jump in. The Sand King does not have ult, but he still goes for the Blink Burrow Strike anyway. Ursa ult keeping that damage to a minimum. Klinks staying invis, should be getting out of there, and they should be... Oh! What a sleep from Naga, and this could be problematic. This Ursa very, very low. They should be able to get him, and now it's the Naga's turn, perhaps, to pay the price. This Naga, not the fastest hero. Time dilation slow, keeping her from escaping comfortably, but it seems like they weren't too interested in chasing the support. Radiant bots, tier 2 trade, well, not even a trade. It's tier 1 top, tier 1 mid, and tier 2 bot. Drop the wards to get the tower, but that's a trade you take any day of the week. That's essentially what Shadow Shaman does. It's kind of like Death Prophet. Wait around the cooldowns of your ults, drop your ults, take a tower, rinse and repeat. And you're pretty much guaranteed to get one objective kill per ult usage. Klink's ready to take on the entire Radiant team. Beautiful usage there from fire arrows, but this should be dead. Visage Bird's also dying. Klink's ready to go for more. They're going in on the right. Beautiful ult there by the Queen of Pain. That'll take down the Naga Siren. No more sleep to cancel out any of those attacks. Ursa getting kited, getting dropped, and it's a 3-for-0 trade. Radiant overtaking the Dire in terms of a kill lead. This Might is starting to pay dividends for the Queen of Pain. Got a Veil up and running, getting ready to get that Yule's up as well. Yule's very useful for Queen of Pain that needs to wait for skill cooldown before she can do enough damage. So you throw out all your spells, Yule's a hero, wait for your cooldowns to come back off, and throw all of your spells again. In the meantime, your teammates should have appeared as well, so it should be an instant kill on whoever you decide to go on. The Dire not giving up by any means. The Naga starting to hoard gold. It hasn't got anything to speed up yet, but I'm pretty sure we all know where this is going. The Relic, about 3,000 gold away. Just the mere fact that the Dire are starting to give Naga the space to farm tells us that the Naga definitely has something big to farm towards. And like I said, no big secrets. Big group up around the Roche area, quite risky as the Radiant often has Roche wards up, especially if you're up against an Ursa. Check the shrine, don't see any heroes. Radiant are ready for this though. Klink's hoping for a Naga Siren kill there, but unfortunately it was just the illusions. D-ward coming out there from the Lich. You see the ward blocking the Ancients. What was that ward blocking the Ancients? No, it wasn't blocking the Ancients, it was just a Roche ward. Big group up happening around top. Mirana ult going on, and this Ursa is ready to initiate, ready to take down at least one enemy hero. Oh, and they missed the chrono! That was not the play! Shadow Shaman dropping his wards and a shackle, taking down the Void instantly. But after that chrono was used, I'm pretty sure he's had to just sit back and think about his sins. Ursa, as mentioned, got a big up and running. Basher on its way. Only about 900 gold away from that. And an Ursa with a Basher is not the hero you want to be fighting into. Lots of dusts going around, getting this... ooh, nice setup there by the Naga Sleep. This is going to be a dead Queen of Pain. The amount of lockdown on this Dire side is just absolutely crazy. Double Visage Birds, Shackles, they've got the Hex, they've got the Mirana Arrow. Ursa Clap, which is sort of like a pseudo-disable. It prevents heroes from running too fast too far. And this is a tier 1 and tier 2 tower dropping up top in favor of the battle. Mirana, Boots of Travel up and running, Diffusal Blade as well. This, ooh, beautiful ult and Burrow Strike coming out from Tim's. This is why he was at the International. Poor guy is going to get caught by this Ursa. Body blocks maybe coming in from the Void. One bash, one more bash. Will not be found. Unfortunately, it's a 4-for-0 trade. What started out as a beautiful ult, Burrow Strike, ended up being an absolute massacre. Void gonna drop, making it a full 5-man wipe. Mirana standing ready to go in on this Queen of Pain, but the pop blink. Just a little too much for Mirana. blinking out and taking down that Ursa, which is a handy bit of gold. That's 600 gold going the way of the Queen of Pain. Mighty little gold swing there. Mirana getting a lot of that gold. Queen of Pain with Yule's complete now. Up next is an Orchid. Probably going to build directly into Bloodthorn after that. Bloodthorn is just one of those items that is just too good to pass up. Basically takes two items that were already great, Crystallis and an Orchid, combines them and adds an additional capability. Against something like an Ursa's ult, getting a guaranteed crit on all hits is simply massive. Up around the shrine, we've got a fight happening. Instant Hex. What a save there from the Void! The Shadow Shaman ult gets dropped. These guys should be looking to get up because their damage over time is just absolutely insane. But this is the time for the Radiant to get their revenge. Mirana's down, Shadow Shaman down, Naga Siren down, and now is the time to push. Meanwhile, while all this was happening, it was a 3v5 fight, going in the favor of the Radiant, but unfortunately, Ursa with the Magus. If they can get him kited, he's coming back in, wants to kill off. Wow, those Visage Birds just absolutely wrecked the Void. Ursa now with his second Aegis of the game. Basher ready. Cheese in his inventory. This is going to be one tough Ursa to take down. And now the Radiant have to reset. All the lanes are pushed in. Bot almost took their tier 3 tower. Top almost half the way there. Ursa is busy farming away like there's no tomorrow. What would you say is next for the Ursa? Probably looking at some damage dealing item. Maybe an AC, maybe a heart. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Maybe even an Eye of Skadi to upgrade that Orb of Venom into something a little more useful. Thanks, Hurricane Pike ready to go, starting to build up into his Desolator. But this is the time of the game when you need to start saving for buyback. Sorry if you guys hear a bit of noise in the background. There seems to be some kind of military airplane test happening around my house. Just so you don't wonder about earthquakes in your area. King's deciding to switch it up for a BKB. Changes the quick queue as we speak. Not a bad idea with the amount of lockdown that the Dire side has, especially with that Naga Sleep. If the Kings can last through the Naga Sleep and pick off one of the supports, that should turn the tide of almost any fight. Dire grouping up around the shrine, probably going to get ready for a smoke. No smokes in the inventory yet. Ah, here is a smoke. Yep, getting ready for a smoke, and they're probably going to go in and try and get a kill on mid. Just waiting for this last bit of jungle farming, and the smoke should... Well, okay, no smoke on their side. Smoke is ready, though. Is the Visage trying to save money for something? Why did they decide not to go for the smoke? Maybe they saw heroes were all off the map. The smoke coming out from the Radiant side, however. This could mean a kill. Instantly identified the Visage. Fighting under the shrine has never been a good idea, though. Sand King getting killed off on the top, getting shackled, getting slammed. While the Naga Sleep keeps them all busy around the shrine to just get those kills. Beautiful Lich all going down there, bouncing, getting all the required damage down. This Shadow Shaman Shackles seems to get on a permanent cooldown. Off permanent cooldown, my apologies. But in the end, the Ursa damage is just too much. The setup from the Shadow Shaman Shackles and the Naga Sleep proving too much for the Radiant side. 26 to 30, 27 minutes into the game. 5-man wipe going in the favor of the Radiant side. And this is when the game starts getting scary for the Radiant. We've got another Siren that has got a Blink Dagger up and running. Very interesting, using the Naga Siren as an initiating hero. Blink Net, or Blink Sleep. Ursa not scared to stand here next to this tower and take some shots as that Aegis in his inventory is as cocky as can be. Going for the Abyssal Blade next, getting a little bit more strength and that guaranteed lockdown. Just playing around with the Sand King, getting a Hex down. cheeky ward here on the other side of the trees, just outside the vision range of the tower. They seem to have found the Naga Siren, who is dead to rights. One kill going the way of Radiant, but it's not the kill they wanted. It's not the Ursa, it's not the Aegis, it's not the Mirana. Void now, Shadowblade Eat. Should be able to get some easy pick-off kills on the backlines on a Shadow Shaman, a Visage, or even a Mirana. On the side of the Clinks, nothing much to report yet. He has the money for most of the BKB, but will probably decide to spare for buyback. Wow, that was not the place you wanted to be, Lich. What the heck was the Lich doing over there? I mean, even if you're warding, you shouldn't be going straight up mid lane. Visage, Solo Chris complete now for a while. Aghanim Scepter up and running, so it's got that extra bird. Visage definitely one of the most value Aghanim Scepters in the game. Not the most OP, but literally increasing your ult's effectivity by 50% is not something that you can laugh at. Naga Siren, not much further to report. Again, saving some money for something. Maybe it's the Radiance this time around. However, the later in the game goes, the less effective the Radiance becomes. So at this point in time, Naga might just want to go Manta or Octary to get those illusions and try and split the lane through. Tier 2 mid falling to the Dire. Ursa getting another 200 gold in pockets. Ursa now just a little bit of gold away from his Abyssal Blade. Almost running out of backpack slots at this point in time. Time to get rid of that stout shield. Well, get rid of the Abyssal Blade. Chrono coming out on top lane. They find the Naga Siren. Will she be able to get a sleep off? No, she will not. They find the Queen of Pain, blink straight into an Ursa and a Visage. And that will be the end of the mid laner for the Radiance. Double damage at the top, leaving that for the Clinks. Clinks with double damage is not something you want to fight into, so if they can find a pick here. Lockdown onto the Ursa, double damage Clinks, doing so much damage to that Ursa. Lich ult coming in, doing the required damage, and with the Aegis that's expired, that will be the death of the Ursa, and that is the kind of kill you want to see on the Clinks. Clinks now, unfortunately, dusted up, slowed by the Soul Assumption. His team coming in to try and save him, but yeah, a Lich is pretty much wet tissue paper at this point in the game. Apologies for that. So, at this point in time, the Mirana, now with the Manta ready, getting ready to break the high ground. Sorry, just let me quickly mute this. Visage also hanging around here at the back. Naga Siren, like we said, not building towards that Radiance just yet. And this will be the mid-Drax. With 4 heroes down, there is literally nothing the Radiant can do about this. And only the Ursa missing on the side of the Dire. He's not even there building for him, he's the killer. Swapping around, going to the bot lane. This might be a kill on the Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman goes down instantly. Gets silenced up, locked down, and killed. Suddenly the Radiants are back, and they're hungry for some kills. Queen of Pain getting yours up into the air. Getting perma-stunned by those birds. Covering the retreat of the Visage, but he gets found by the Clinks. That fast little bugger. Him and the Void should be able to keep up. Pops a dust just to try and slow them down a little bit. Gets a resummon, and this is not where you want it to be. But suddenly the Void pops the Chrono and decides enough is enough. They still haven't killed off this Visage. Because of the magic immunity, it doesn't... Oh no, because they were on the ground, it didn't even bounce. They should be able to pick off these Visage birds for a cute little amount of money. Meanwhile, while that was happening, the Naga Siren gets picked off slightly to the south. But now top lane is pushing in. Someone needs to rotate to defend. It is going to be the Void, it seems, picking off those Mirana illusions that are tanky as all hell. Suddenly you've got creeps knocking at your door. kind of sucks when you get a semi-team wipe and you can't take any objectives because your lane has been pushed in. Alright, so Lich, 4-staff, ready to go. Bullying that Aghanim Scepter, but I would be very surprised if we see that Ags on the Lich before the end of the game. Unless this game goes super long, there's just no way that that's going to happen. Queen of Pain now with the Orchid of Malevolence ready. Midas still doing work, and a BKB in her inventory. This Queen of Pain is starting to farm out of control. With a BKB, with an Orchid, with a Veil, the amount of damage she can output and the amount of damage and lockdown she can dodge is going to be very, very hard to counter. Ursa on the side of the Dire. Abyssal Blade now completed, ready to build that BKB. And Ursa with a BKB is one of those things that's pretty much impossible to kill. In between the low cooldown of his ult, well, once he's got Ags, and a BKB, there's almost nothing you can do to him.
Missing middle.
You're quite right, Naga. They are missing middle. Busy farming the ancient stack. While the Mirana Ultimate Orb in her inventory. Could be one of many things. Could be a Hex. Could be a Skadi. Could be a Lincoln Sphere. I'm assuming she's going to go Lincolns to provide that extra defensive capability to her team. Lincolns will counter the Orchid from the Queen of Pain and the Clinks, and the Initiation from the Sand King. So here's hoping she gets to finish it in time. Very nice initiation here by the Dire side. Wards get dropped, instantly locked down onto the Void, and no chrono for this fight. Clinks pops a BKB and just starts dealing damage left, right, and center. Hurricane Pike doing work, but the Ursa is still alive. Will pop to the Orchid damage. Suddenly there's a Queen of Pain with a BKB. Chronosphere popped, and they can't seem to find the enemy Mirana. But Naga Siren gets killed, and suddenly Naga Siren and Ursa are down. Shadow Shaman Mirana down to below 10% of health. And even though it did cost the Void buyback, getting 2 kills on your offlaner and main core of the enemy team is definitely worth it at this point. Faceless Void still quite a ways away from his BKB. This is definitely a BKB game on both sides. The magical damage on especially the Radiant side is very, very heavy. Queen of Pain pretty much solidly countered by Radiant deciding to go for Roche. Interesting choice while the Ursa is dead. Also a good way of making sure that you know where the enemies are. If the Ursa buys back, you know they can be Roche. You know they're aware of who you. While there is a Radiant scan going on to make sure that no one is wrapping around, the Clinks should be Void takes cheese. Aegis on the Queen of Pain. We actually have quite a lot of good Aegis carriers on this Radiant scene. In general, with an Aegis, you want to pick a hero that has a lot of spammable spells and a large mana pool. So int carries are normally your best Aegis carriers, as the oft overlooked feature of the Aegis is that you not only come back with full health, but with full mana. Queen of Pain looking to play a little bit more aggressive with this Aegis in the inventory. The Dire scoping out this bottom shrine. Having broken high ground, they are able to take down the shrine. Obviously, the Radiant will know this has happened. Can't do anything to do to counter it, unfortunately. Bloodthorn ready on the Queen of Pain, and now she's looking to become a menace in these fights. Isolate the Ursa with the Duels. Silence the Naga Siren with the Bloodthorn. Take her out. Veil all of them. Ult. That should take down at least 1 or 2 enemy heroes. Let's take a look at some items. Oh, wait, before we do that, instant Hex on the Queen of Pain, but she gets 4-staffed by her friendly Clinks. 4-staffed again. Maybe not sure goodbye there. And decides to go back in. What a ballsy hero this is. Wanted to maybe pop the Aegis, but it was to no avail. A lot of Dire wards up in this south side of the map. One on the shrine, one towards the south, looking at the tier 2 towers, old position. And there was a sentry here that expired, and another sentry over here that was probably a D ward at the time. Slightly outside of range, that ward. So Med, it seems to be the place where the action is going to go down. Clinch with his Deso up, with Deso complete as well, has now reached that point of the game where he can pretty much solo kill any hero if not locked down. Visage now has a Rod of Atos, has a Hood of Defiance on top of the Ags and Solar Crest that he already had. While the Shadow Shaman has Etherlens Lotus Orb. Very nice defensive build there. Lotus Orb, Etherlens. Oh wow! And suddenly the Lotus Orb gets popped, and that was a very, very timely Lotus Orb trying to get that Queen of Pain knocked down. Naga suddenly ready, and the BKB doing a lot of work while the Naga Sleep is going on. Perma stun, however, there by the Naga and the Mirana. Probably going to find the Naga Siren here on the south side of the map. In between the Void, the Clinks, and the Lich. This should be a death. Mirana Illusion is becoming tankier and tankier as the game goes on. And suddenly they need to defend their base again. That is a problem when you have one racks down. Sand King almost thought he had an Ags ready there with the way those creeps were exploding. Sand King Ags, definitely one of the most underrated in the game. Used to increase the damage potential of his ult, but because Sand King's ult is always kind of hit and miss, it used to be a very situational pickup. With the new Ags, applying Caustic Finale to all targets that have been Burrow Struck, as well as pretty much doubling the range of Burrow Strike, it has become a much more useful skill. Also, gem on that Sand King, so he went on a bit of a dewarding run. Team picking out the Shrine, asking him to go deward there. I think he might be a little bit cautious about that area, knowing that the Dire had the vision from at the moment. Meanwhile, mid lane dropping to the Radiant. Suddenly with this Klink's Desolator, the damage potential has gone around the other way. Wards get dropped, and this will probably be the end of the Void. Sadly for him, Aegis gets popped by the Queen of Pain, but the tower is down. High ground has been broken. If they don't get an instant lockdown on this Queen of Pain, she will be out of here. And she does indeed get out, and that is why having an Aegis in your inventory allows you to do so much more. Bloodthorn onto the Ursa, and suddenly the Ursa's ult means absolutely nothing. Queen of Pain gets rooted through the BKB, but there's a Lich on the other side, and that ult bounces, takes down the Naga, takes down the Visage. Mirana, wanting to come in for a bit of cleanup job, decides that it's not worth it, and backs off, leaving the Shadow Shaman to tank things again. One hero will probably have to rotate back down to bots, as they don't want to lose a second lane of racks, but this will most likely be mid racks for the Radiants. Mirana going back to base to regen up the full, buying her items. Getting that Lincoln Sphere ready, as predicted, but the damage potential from these Clinks is just absolutely insane. Those racks stood no chance. And with only the Ursa for buyback, and him not using his buyback, this will be at least 2 sets of racks. Naga will be able to stall when she gets back, but it'll probably be too late to save his melee racks. And if you can't save your melee racks, honestly, the commitment is not worth it. What looked like such a promising game for the Dire, with the Ursa getting those early kills, getting those early last hits, getting 2 Roches in a row, 2 solo Roches in a row, Visage getting nice form, Mirana getting nice form, suddenly turned around with this Klink's Desolator. Building MKB now to counter the predicted pickup of the Butterfly on the Mirana, and maybe even the Ursa. Ursa has now been building this BKB for quite some time. Poor guy. Queen of Pain, meanwhile, getting ready to pick up a Lincoln Sphere of her own. Most likely against that Shadow Shaman, Shackles, and Hex. As Hex is an instant cost, 0 cost point ability, it's not something you can ever blink out of. And with that Ether Lens, it makes the Shadow Shaman a force to be reckoned with. Right, 2 racks down in favor of the Radiant, 1 racks down in favor of the Dire. Bot lane now being pushed up a double wave here with Tim's on his Sand King, and with the Sand King not the slowest pushing hero. Charge, voice line being spammed there. Klink's leading the way, seeing if he can get a pick off, seeing if any heroes are hanging around behind the creep wave. Ready to initiate. Putting around this shrine area. Look at how fast that shrine falls. If you've ever tried to take down a shrine by yourself, you'd understand how impressive that just was. Top guy decided to trade shrine for shrine. With 2 heroes, it takes them about twice as long, as the Clinks just take more time. If they don't have fortification, it's like that tower never even existed. Trying to split push against the Clinks with Deso is just not going to work. They just do not have the same kind of damage potential, the same kind of wave clear as a Queen of Pain and a Sandton have, on top of the damage potential of the Clinks. Visage trying his best to push them back with a lot of Atos there onto the Clinks. However, it's just going to slightly slow down the momentum. Clinks staying away from this creep wave, waiting for the heroes to come in. Clinks doesn't farm creeps anymore, he's farming heroes. Unfortunately, there's quite a lot of wave clear on both sides. The Shadow Shaman with quite a lot of wave clear. Sending out those illusions one by one to try and keep the heroes occupied. Here they come, pushing into the tower. Lincoln's getting triggered there. Mirana hitting level 25, that cheesy triple arrow. And that'll be the tower to fall. Even if the Radiant loses a lot of heroes here, it'll probably be almost worth it. Oh, beautiful! Chronosphere catching 3! Queen of Pain ults into the Chronosphere, killing off the Visage and the Ursa. Ursa will instantly buy back. Mirana to fall as well. Ward's doing a lot of damage over time. Dire's Courier gets killed on the side. These wards just getting farmed for cash. Bringing that Void very low, but it won't be enough to save him. Ursa has his ult off, but with the amount of damage that this Clinks can do, there's just no way that they can do anything. Nagasaran standing under the shrine still gets killed. Final set of racks down. And this looks very much to be game. Some Korean getting, well, some Southeast Asian language getting spammed there. I'm not sure of the languages. My languages. Tier 4s to fall. Radiant is doing it. Cheeky wall there from the side of the Lich. Buying a Mask of Madness just to influence those stats. And that'll be it from myself, Havok, your famous friendly neighborhood pub caster. Follow me on Twitter at Martin Becker, Martin BCKR. And till next time, thank you very much for tuning in.